Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I'm rounding out the S.W.A.T. trilogy with S.W.A.T. Under Siege. This is a 2017 action thriller film directed by Tony Giglio, and it stars uh, Sam Yeager, Adrienne Palicki, Michael Jai White, and uh, Matthew Marsden. In this film, when a DEA and SWAT cartel takedown ends in a shootout, SWAT agent Travis Hall seizes a mysterious prisoner, taking him into custody. Before long, the SWAT compound is under siege by wave after wave of assault teams attempting to recover the prisoner known as the Scorpion for the tattoo blazed across his back. When Travis discovers that his prisoner is a secret ops double agent planted within the cartel, it's up to him and his expert SWAT team to keep the Scorpion and his billion-dollar secret safe. So, what did I think of S.W.A.T. Under Siege? Well, given that I've seen the first two, I know I just decided to just get all of it over with. I think I enjoyed this one the best of them, but that might sound like I'm saying they're all bad, which isn't what I'm saying. I'm mostly saying that this is the most accomplished as an action movie of them all for me. But it's still not saying a lot. It's half decent basically. Even with some issues of it that it has, but I'll get to those. Sam Yeager plays Travis Hall. He's our main character. I'd say I liked Colin Farrell more than this guy for sure. Colin Farrell's definitely a better actor. Sam Yeager is leagues ahead of fucking Gabriel Macht from the last one. Because Gabriel Macht, he has the look kind of a SWAT guy, and I feel like he could have the presence, but his acting really just didn't work for that. But this guy, Sam Yeager, I don't know much about him. I just know that he was in Parenthood, which was a show that my mom watched. I'd never seen it. He's been in some movies, Her, Inherent Vice, American Sniper. But yeah, he's good enough. He's decent enough in the role. Adrienne Palicki plays Ellen Dwyer, who's basically their leader or whatever. I fucking hate her in action movies. I haven't really seen her in anything other than action movies. I've seen her in John Wick. She played the one bitch. She was okay. Each of the John Wick movies, I think, has a horrible fucking acting performance. The first John Wick, I like the first three John. Okay, I like the first John Wick. Love the third one. Think the second one is fine, and I think the fourth one is just watchable, I guess, but still annoying as fuck. Each of them have a villain in it that I think is horribly acted. In the first one, you had Adrienne Palicki, who I don't buy her being badass. I don't buy her as an assassin. She's there to be pretty. She's one of those models turned actresses that just does not fucking work at all. In the second one, it was the main actor, Ricardo Scarmaccio. The third one, it was Asia Kate Dillon, that fucking horrible actress that only got hired, I think, because she's non-binary. And the fourth one, Bill Skarsgård. I thought he was fucking terrible. So you've got that bitch here, Adrienne Palicki, and she doesn't work in this role. She doesn't. I don't buy her as this FBI leader, or not FBI, SWAT leader or whatever. I don't buy it at all. It doesn't work. She's not good in the film. I've always had an issue with her. Michael Jai White plays Scorpion. He's a mysterious prisoner that this mysterious guy that the cartel's taken prisoner, who's like a spy. And I like Michael Jai White a lot. I wish he was the main actor in this. Because, oh, sorry, I got a fucking hair in my eye. I'm good though. Because even though Sam Yeager is not bad, I Sorry about that. Sam Yeager's not bad in the main role. It's just that I'm gonna stick that up there. He's just kind of unspecial, and Michael Jai White could have given us some more like hand-to-hand fight scenes that would have been cool. Um, but yeah, I liked him, and he did get a couple cool, decent fight scenes. And Matthew Marsden as Lars, he's basically our main villain for the most part. He's okay. I don't know much about him. Um, Also, a little bit of shout out to Pascal Hutton, who plays Carly, who is Travis's wife. I knew I recognized this actress. She's in a movie that I just recently saw called, called where the hell is it? Double Life, where she was in it with Jacinia Leslie. Which, again, I was told by Mr. D Man, she's the one who replaced Ruby Rose as fucking Batwoman, which I didn't even realize. I never watched Batwoman. I knew that it was a black woman, and I didn't know it was her. I was wondering why her name was on the poster of that, and I'm like, huh? Who is this? But now it makes sense. Especially since that movie kind of felt like a glorified TV movie. But anyways, SWAT Under Siege. This is the first movie of the series where I think they picked a correct director for this. Because the first one you had Clark Johnson, who did another kind of bigger budget action movie or like spy, like political thriller movie with The Sentinel, with Michael Douglas, Ava Longoria, Kiefer Sutherland, Kim Basinger, really good cast. I have not seen that yet. I am very curious. And then the second one, you pick Benny Boom, who would go on to do All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic, which I've never seen, so another bad choice of director. This one is Tony Giglio. Now, I have not seen but one of Tony Giglio's films, and that was Chaos, with Jason Statham, Ryan Phillippe, and Wesley Snipes, which personally I think it's one of Statham's better films. Again, I haven't seen a lot of Statham's films, but I did really enjoy it. Even though it's not like a straight up action movie, it had some really impressive action scenes. There's one with Ryan Phillippe where he's riding a motorcycle. That was a lot of fun. There's some nice explosions in places, some decent shootouts. But overall, it's more of a mystery movie. And I thought the mystery was very compelling. So, yeah. And I think Tony Giglio is the right director for this. Now, is this as good as Chaos? No. But I do think it is an efficient enough action movie for the most part. There are some issues. But first off, on the main actor, Sam Yeager. Again, I think he works in this type of role. Like, he fits as the SWAT leader, unlike Gabriel Macht. Colin Farrell, sure, but he is a bit too pretty, I guess, in my opinion. But yeah, like, I bought this guy being the lead in this movie. And action-wise, what did I think? I think the action is pretty decent overall. It's mostly your normal, like, shooting, reverse shot thing. Or like a shot of somebody shooting, somebody getting hit, or squibs. Sorry, I cannot get this camera right. Maybe I need to. There you go. It's mostly your like stereotypical action movie shot of somebody shooting and then shot of somebody getting hit and falling down. That happens a lot. What I will give the movie is that it has some pretty um nicely brutal moments. There's a bit where a prisoner, in order to like keep the information from getting out, like to keep himself from, I guess he thinks he might be tortured, even though that's not how SWAT works. So he basically bangs his head on the table until he hits like the little loop that they put like handcuffs through. He hits his head on it so hard that it goes into his fucking forehead, and you just see like blood spilling onto the table, and it's a pretty like, I'll give it to them. That was a pretty fucking gruesome moment. And then you see his head like that. Um, somebody gets shotgunned in the stomach, and I was like, damn. And there is a bit of a low to that because pretty much all of the blood squibs are CGI. And that's one thing I can say about the last one is that they weren't using CGI blood. Also, it wasn't as big of a thing in 2011. But that is a bit of an issue I have with this one for sure. The CGI blood just does not look good. And I do think that partially takes away from the action. Uh, like there are parts of it where it doesn't come off as bad, like it doesn't look as bad as it should, or as it could have, or as it does in other scenes. But it definitely stands out in a lot of scenes. I do. One thing I can definitely give this movie, it picked the right tone because I think the first and second movies could have been more fun and engaging if they had picked a better tone. And what I mean by that is you have this ultra serious like, oh, somebody died and it's like, oh, everybody's so sad and everything. This film does a similar thing where the main character loses somebody, loses one of the soldiers or one of the SWAT team. No, he in the second one he loses the hostage. In the first one, it's something else I forgot. And in this one, they lose a SWAT team member. And yes, they talk about it, but they don't make the entire movie about it. And for the most part, this is trying to be just a fun popcorn action movie. And for the most part, I think it gets that. I do think that some of the casting decisions do hinder my enjoyment a bit, especially Adrienne Palicki, because I just don't like her in action movies. Like, I can't be the only person that finds her annoying in John Wick, right? Like, like I understand what they were trying to do with that character. She gets to she's like sexual or whatever, and she gets people while they're down. But like, I don't know, just I don't understand her casting here. It doesn't make much sense. I'm trying to think of other people you could cast, but if I said like Gina Carano, people would get on my ass about it. I don't care because Gina Carano didn't do anything wrong, but like still, um, I know I talk I sometimes I talk too much, but what I said earlier, Michael Jai White really should have been the star. And I think part of the issue, I don't know if it was a budget issue. I don't know what the budget of this one was. It it's probably lower than the last one, even though this one I think looks a bit better. Like shot wise, I think it's shot a bit better than the last one. Because the last one did look very direct to video, like very in many shots. The weird GoPro angles, like I guess they were trying to do a David Ayer type thing, but here they don't do that weird shit. Um, but here it just feels like Tony Giglio was just trying to make a fun popcorn movie, and I can definitely give credit to that. There's a twist near the end that actually I thought I had it down, and I'll give it some I'll give it something for that because when I don't guess a twist, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like I knew that this was a thing. Like they set up that like somebody in the SWAT base is like giving information to the bad guys or whatever. So I was definitely like, that's like it's supposed to be like a guessing game, but yeah, I'll give it that. Um, One thing I will say, there are some really weird bits during some of the action scenes. During the first action scene, there's literally a bit where I'm gonna use my gun as an example. Where the person is firing, I forgot if it was an MP5 or no, it was like an AR. It was like a SWAT AR. I forgot what it was, but they were pulling the trigger. I'm not actually putting my finger on the trigger with their middle finger, and it looks so freaking weird. And if any, again, if any SWAT people see this, let me know. Are there maneuvers where you pull the trigger with your middle finger? I'd love to know. Um, there was one character that's like the gate guard at the SWAT complex that is very much like stereotypical like sassy black woman. She literally said there's literally a part where the part where she shoots somebody with the shotgun that she has in her thing in the stomach. She says not on my shift, motherfucker. And I was like, were they trying to be badass there? And she kind of has a lot of those lines, and it's very odd. I know this movie's definitely trying to be more like fun action movie, like not like stereotypical. Well, stereotypical, but like it's trying to be more of a like just fun popcorn entertainment thing rather than the first two, which I think took themselves way too serious. But yeah, overall, there's not like a lot I can really say on it. It's a decent enough action movie. It's not gonna win any awards. There's definitely a lot better action movies you can pick, but for this one, I think they picked the right director, and I enjoyed watching it for the most part. But yeah, that was my review of SWAT Under Siege. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door out.